Why are you calling me? I don't do this anymore.
I found something really interesting.
When the banks committed the greatest fraud in U.S. history,
The big banks ripping off working people.
4 rebels risked it all to take them down.
If we're right, people lose homes, people lose jobs.
We're going to make the big banks hurt.
It's a nice shirt. Do they make it for men?
So Mike Barry, who doesn't wear shoes, knows more than the federal government.
Dr. Mike Burry, yes, he does.
The Big Short. Rated R.
Hello, I'm the Universal Critic. I talk about whatever I want, whenever I want. For all the people today bitching about how the economy has tanked in recent years, no one actually seems to talk about how we ended up here in the first place. Today's film, The Big Short, tells the story of a group of guys who saw all of this coming. Fat lot of good that did the rest of us, though. Set in the mid-2000s, The Big Short tells the story of a group of stockbrokers and finance guys, the most prominent of whom being played by Christian Bale, Steve Carell, and Ryan Gosling, all of whom saw the 2008 financial meltdown and housing crisis coming years in advance. I know that sounds like a really boring subject and one that's way too complicated to get into, and that's because it is, but the movie gets around that fact in a clever, funny, and very insightful way. The biggest element of this film that I want to talk about is its message. The best way I can describe this film is important. It manages to take a very convoluted issue that nonetheless plays an important factor in everyday life, and manages to make it accessible to the average movie-going public, not an easy task. That's not to say the film dumbs it down or oversimplifies the issues, it's just explaining the complex and making it easy to understand, which I believe it was Albert Einstein who said that was the very definition of genius. And the movie isn't all dry economic talk either. It has a great deal of fun with explaining all of this, and injecting a touch of humor makes it all the more relatable to the everyday public. The film has an incredibly down-to-earth and honest tone to it, and it really makes you feel like you're there back in the mid-2000s. The atmosphere to the film is really great, with clips and images from mid-2000s media being injected here and there to recreate an era that really isn't that long ago, but feels all the more distant the more you think about it. And the message it has about the endless excess and general apathy that happens on Wall Street is beyond poignant. The film isn't against capitalism or anything like that. After all, the heroes, or anti-heroes as the case may be, work and finance themselves, but it's still a powerful cautionary tale about what happens when the pursuit of wealth occurs to the detriment of not only yourself or even other people, but the entire world. The acting is uniformly superb, with the leads taking what most likely would have been unlikable and off-putting characters and giving them a great deal of charm. Steve Carell is my personal favorite. He spends the whole movie being pissed off at the people around him and shouting at them a lot, but you can tell he's got a strong moral compass, and as the film progresses you see all the crap that he has to deal with, so his bitching is understandable and often very funny. Overall, I give The Big Short a high big screen rating. I must insist that you go see this film, and while the cynical side of me can't help but remember there were only about 7 other people in the theater with me, but like they say, not being able to do everything is never an excuse to do nothing at all. I'm the Universal Critic. I talk about whatever I want, whenever I want. Good.
Money makes the world go around, the world go around, the world go around. Money makes the world go around, it makes the world go round.